During 2013 and 2015, while doing my thesis in Choreomundus, when children take the initiative and dance becomes more than heritage, I compared how children learn and transmit their dances in two different contexts, in the Colombian Pacific coast and also in Auvergne, France. The results gave me important insights about the potential that bodily but also cultural heritage have for triggering social transformations, especially in the case of Colombia, where it's common to find contexts traversed by violence and displacement. It is inspiring how in this context, homes and heritage are carried out in people's bodies. Despite the enormous potential that bodily practice and intangible cultural heritage have in emergency contexts, I have witnessed how local leaders and their initiatives are always isolated, and they face a lack of support for the strengthening and safeguarding of their practices. Even more, their jobs do not represent a sustainable pathway for themselves or their family, because they have to do plenty of other informal jobs in order to survive. Inspired by this problematic and with the help of some colleagues reach out through the Choreomundus network, the project Museum Bodies for Empathy aims to create a platform that connects these local leaders and their initiatives. And even more, we want to create sustainable pathways for themselves and their families, creating a real social impact.
In our museum, we're working to develop non-formal education programs that certify and link their interests with institutions that allow the participants to continue their technical or professional programs. Consolidate programs for the community training, management, and safeguarding of intangible cultural heritage. Create an innovative virtual platform that integrates an intercultural network for community management of intangible cultural heritage and also promotes empathy and respect for cultural diversity as social values. Finally, we are developing marketing strategies for community cultural artistic products and services, certified training programs, and micro-franchises.
Our methodologies are centered on bodily practices for personal healing, inspired by dance movement therapy, somatics, community dance, contact improvisation, and different dances from the world. Through nonverbal interactions, we enable the participants to be curious about themselves in movement, to understand in their bodily experience how the others can be a trigger for creating movement, and generate a contained atmosphere for an alternative relationality focused on creation. Moreover, on a second phase, we establish dialogue with the local cultural practices to enable a process of enunciation. This means that the groups engage in the task of narrating themselves, their emotions and life stories, the elements of their communities and the cultural practices that give them identity, belonging, sense of continuity, and have been transmitted from generation to generation. These narratives are pulled to compose an exhibition in the territories and also take part in our virtual museum as a way of connecting these embodied experiences with other parts of the world. In these ways, we open a path for telling stories that have not been told anywhere else, as one of our participants expressed.
Currently, we are working with 35 leaders from 9 communities of Colombia in a training base in 3 training modules: body, heritage, and interculturality. With them, we are developing innovative strategies and solutions for the educational and cultural sector.
Both Empathy Line and the Heritage Line have been contemplated for the current cultural actors training for the museum, creating a human network involving several Colombian territories. Together, they are intended to build the third module, interculturality, a concept embedded in encounters which intend to accompany an exchange between different ways of existence, fostering a concept of coexistence for peace. This module will have as a final product the construction of a collective virtual exhibition, in a process in which every cultural actor will get to know the practices, achievements, and challenges of other cultural actors for finding common solutions.
I'm very happy to say that in the context of this project, we are also trying to incorporate new technologies of human movement recognition. And so at the moment, we are trying to come up with our own platform of motion capture recording to work with indigenous communities and some of the groups that the organization has been already involved with. The reason behind this is because we are trying to use this intangible cultural heritage not only to enhance the processes of empathy and pacification in post-conflict societies as the ones that we have in Colombia. But also we are trying on top of that to think about the future and prevent cases of misappropriation. The reason behind this is that through documentation and archiving and safeguarding, we are pragmatically preventing third parties external to communities from gaining copyrights or patents over traditional knowledge systems. And so in this way, we're visibilizing, but also bringing the power back to their communities.
Do you want to be part of our museum? There are many ways you can support us. You or your dance community can join our museum by participating in our international training processes for cultural managers of our museum. Registration process coming soon. After you do the formation, you can write an intention letter to be a member of our museum addressed to the board members of our organization. And finally, a response and formalization of the alliance as a natural or legal person.
I engaged in embodying reconciliation work through a participative action research for my Choreomundus dissertation titled Cartographies of Reconciliation, Fostering Peace Through Dance and Heritage. You are welcome also to propose research internships with us.
Finally, we welcome you to follow and share our work in social media through our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube channel, and webpage embodyingreconciliation.com.